Hey, Wendy, how are you?
Good.
Hey, thanks for taking some time to talk to me today. I know you're not feeling well. I know you've got the sniffles today.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries. Hey, I just want to talk to you really about our journey together. We've been working together for, well, over 10 years. Can you believe it?
No.
It's been incredible, by the way, and it's been a great honor to work with you. And so tell everybody what you do on the team. What did you do before? Why did you join the team and what it looks like now?
Well, let's see. You and I started in real estate about the same time,
That's right.
back in 2002, I think. And I've been working with you for almost 10 years now. And our team concept has been developed over the years. And so we've sort of progressed and moved on and on. But the last seems like a year, it's really accelerated into this team model. So I was a solo agent, and I did all those things that everybody does on their own by myself. And I came from, a corporate background where I was on teams before, and then you go into real estate and you're all by yourself. And so it was a real big gap for me. And then also the other thing is there's a big gap in income too. So when you're getting started, anyway, so it's been wonderful.
And now you're with us as our lead listing coach. What does a lead listing coach do?
Well, we have listing specialists underneath us that we coach. And then we're also doing some production on our own.
And so what has been the biggest benefit of you joining the team? And it's been so long ago, I don't even know if you can remember what it was like.
I don't even remember what it was like, to be honest.
Almost 10 years, but
other people that you've been talking to.
Maybe answer it this way. What's it like to be on a team?
To be on a team, I think it's not just being on a team. I think it's being on our team. I think it's awesome. And it's, I don't know, I can't say anything other than that. It's just awesome. It's great being with people who are like-minded like you. It's great being with people who appreciate the structure and the accountability. It's also wonderful to be focused on just what you're good at and have other people around you that are good at other things that you're not. And I know on working with clients that resonates tremendously with the clients that we represent, just because we are focused on what we do and specialize in what we do.
Because you've actually been in the business for 15 years. We've been working close to 10 years of those together. Before that, you represented both buyers and sellers. Then you actually became a buyer specialist on our team.
I did.
Then you became the buyer coach. Then you were a listing specialist, and then now the listing coach, and you coach our listing team members.
Mm-hmm.
How has that transition been for you? You've had an experience in working both with buyers and sellers. I ask you to specialize. I think the best person to handle a toothache is not the general doctor, but a dentist, a specialist. How is that then working with our buyer team, representing the buyers that you've had and the buyers that you meet, and you focusing your energy on providing a kind of service that our sellers are excited to tell a friend about? Would you talk about that?
So you mean teaming up with our buyers agents?
Yeah, I'm thinking that there's probably some people that are watching this video thinking she only works with homeowners that are selling the home, and they may be used to an environment where they represent buyers, tenants, landlords, commercial properties, and they're trying to do a little bit of everything. They're what I call generalists.
Right.
And I've asked you to be a specialist because I believe that the best service that a client can receive is from a specialist, not a generalist.
Right.
And so talk about how that's been specifically focusing on sellers or homeowners that are selling their home. And what do you do when somebody wants to buy a home, and how do you integrate our buyer team? We have 10 buyer specialists. We have a buyer coach. And how do you bring them in to represent our buyers?
Well, Rick, I think this is the biggest value add that we have for our clients. And I can tell you lots of stories about that. And we've got somebody right now that we're working with who is just thrilled to death, going through a really tough time in her life with her children. And she's just so appreciative of, she's making comments that, you know, I hired one and I got four, and it's amazing. And just to help carry her through that transition in her life, it really resonates with our selling clients too, that I would never bring an offer from a buyer to them. And that's a question with people out in the market selling homes too. And to be able to sit down at a table with people selling with questions, I'm selling, but I have questions on buying, and sit next to Shelby and work together with Shelby on that, and then take them through that process together is, number one, super rewarding for me and for Shelby or any other agent that we get to work with together. But it provides our clients with an incredible experience that they don't get. And so it's just such a win-win, and it just really resonates with people. And it's way more fun for me.
And you're also, a lot of people think, oh, so, you know, you're moving your buyer off to a different person. Actually, you're the face to the client, and you have a concierge department, a marketing department, a transaction coordination department. You have buyer specialists, you have operation, you have lots of different people that support you so that you can provide that kind of experience. It's excited to tell a friend about. And I know that specifically a lot of your clients are going online and writing 5-star reviews. Together, we've accumulated over 500 5-star reviews. And so what are your clients saying about this experience working with the team?
Well, you know, based on the reviews, and they are just extremely appreciative. And, you know, real estate is messy sometimes, but we still work to keep it together and walk people through to the end. And so it's just...
Go ahead, Whitney.
No, it's okay.
You've had... you and I've talked quite a bit about when we first started the team concept, and you were there when we just had a few team members. Now, currently we have 25 team members.
Yeah. But
you were there at the very beginning where there was only 5 of us around a table. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this question. And let me just set the stage a little bit. When we first started, I thought that the benefits of being on a team and really building a team was about production and efficiency. Mm-hmm. And now I've come to realize that perhaps the biggest benefit of being on a team is the ability for us to actually not produce and go and take time on vacation, enjoy our time with our family. I know you just got back from a camping trip this week. Real estate agents are thinking, how do you ever go camping in this industry, right? Because often you're disconnected from a cell phone, you're disconnected from a laptop. And so often, what we find is that half the time people spend thinking about work when they're on vacation. The other half they spend working on their vacation. And I think one of the greatest benefits of being on the team has been us being able to enjoy our families. Wendy, would you talk about what that's meant to you? And have you experienced that in times where maybe you are sick, you've been sick and haven't been able to come to actually represent work with your clients particularly, or you're on vacation or you've taken a missions trip? Talk about how the team has supported you and really supported not just your real estate production, but supported your life so that it's really provided greater value to you and your family.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's a big question. The team is huge. You and I supported each other for a long time in the last couple of years on our transactions with our clients and working together with them. It's allowed me to take, you know, actually probably 2 to 3 vacations a year the last couple years. I'll also say that the last 3 years, my production and my income has increased tremendously. So I've still been able to go on some really amazing vacations. There's been a couple times where I've been really sick, that you stepped up and closed transactions for me. I ended up in the hospital several times too. And so there is a level of, because there's the competency that we have on our team, and the level of trust that we have with each other, and also the culture that we have in our office, that I don't ever worry if something's wrong and I'm gone, that my clients aren't going to be cared for, because of that team approach and the team culture that we have and how we all work together. My clients are really well taken care of, and I enjoy taking care of my agents' clients too, and letting them go. I mean, that's what makes me feel good, is that I can help them too, and I give them that time away too. So
Right.
it makes me feel.
Let me ask you this question. You talked about production. If you can think back to when you were a solo agent, your production, your income, matter of fact, the amount of listings that you carried at any point in time compared to where you're at now, how has that changed? Your production, your listing count, how many listings are you currently managing at this time?
I think right now I have about 30.
So you have 30 active listings. That's just you. That's not your specialist. Is that right?
That's just me.
And so in some phase or another, you have 30 active listings. How does that compare to when you were by yourself as a solo agent?
Well, when I was by myself, when I first started, Rick, it took me a while to get productive, number one. We're seeing our agents right now hitting the ground running and becoming productive at a very high level very quickly. So I struggled. And my listings and my buyers were, I was maybe closing 10 to 12 maybe on a good year. The last 3 years in a row, it's doubled every year. Just because, again, the efficiency and the leverage that we have with all the people behind me. So the other thing to mention is that to our clients, it's not that they're going to talk to 5 different departments.
Right.
And that's something that, we need to make sure that we cover with our clients, is that I'm your person, I'm working with you, but you need to know that there are all these people working on your behalf behind me.
Yeah. Right.
And it's important that they know that, that when I'm on an appointment, my phone is not blowing up because somebody wants to show a home and I'm not missing the call. I know the concierge team is picking that call up. And I know that, things are happening on transactions. I know that my transaction coordinator is picking that up, so I can be with my clients. So just important for our clients to know that they're not being farmed out to 5 different people.
That's right. I think that's important. That's one of the myth understandings the myth is that if you work on a team, you get moved from one person. Everybody hates that.
Right.
You call the bank and then you start describing your problem and they send you to somebody else. Then you describe your problem all over again and they send you to somebody else. The
Right.
phone company, the cable company. And that's why these organizations produce really a poor client experience. So you're the face to the client.
Always.
But you have all of these departments that support you.
Yes.
Talk about, if you mentioned the word concierge, and for many that are going to be watching this video, they have no idea what you just said. Like, what is a concierge department? The industry also calls it ISA, inside sales, inside scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
Could you talk for a moment about what does your concierge department do for your clients? And what does a concierge department do for you and your team members?
Well, really specifically for my clients, when properties are posted on the MLS and they're marketed online by our marketing team, that's generating a lot of phone calls and a lot of leads that are coming in. And I'm working for my clients, not necessarily picking up those calls. Those calls are going directly to concierge, which is, it is speed to lead right now, and they're picking up the phone. They're not dropped. Those calls are not dropped. So we're able to grab those phone calls on our listings, and plug them in with one of our buyers specialists. And so really from the seller's point of view, that's a huge benefit, right? They want all those calls to be addressed. We don't want to miss those calls. That's huge. It's also huge for the ISA or concierge department, for people calling in and just saying, hey, I'm thinking about listing my house. I want to talk to somebody, or I have some questions. They're able to, again, grab that phone call right away. They know who we are. They plug us in. They look at the calendar, and they really do the best that they can to support that person calling in. That's just huge. It's also makes a connection between me and this appointment that I'm going on too. Because, you know, I go there and they're like, hey, I talked to Joe, and it just makes it a warm appointment, which is, and they've been vetted ahead of time. So it's a wonderful thing.
So let's switch gears. Let's talk about the role of a coach. You're a coach. You have those listing specialists that you're coaching. What is the role of a coach? Why is it needed in our industry? And specifically, you're a coach, but you're an in-house coach. A lot of people are hiring coaches that are outside of their office. There's nothing wrong with that. But talk about the role of a coach. And specifically, I want you to talk about, you have some of your team members, listing specialists, they're brand new to the industry. They've not been in real estate for real. And you have others that have been in the business for 15 years. Mm-hmm. How does that coaching work between the two?
Well, yeah, they're very different. But I think that what really matters really is the person who's in the position and the characteristics of that person, right? I think about, you know, Daniel, for example, who comes with a huge background of property management, highly professional, highly motivated, a great people person, and he's plugged in and become very productive immediately. Then somebody else that we're working with right now who's been in the business for a long time, just as long as you and I have, and who's also more than doubled or tripled her production or moving in that direction. So they're coming from different places, but really I think the role of a coach is to work with them on what their goals are, what they want to meet their goals are, and then just to help them be accountable to their goals, get them to do what they need to do. I think that's the role of what a coach is.
What do you think are the best characteristics of a coach? What are the characteristics of a great coach?
A great coach, again, I think it's asking really good questions. I think it's helping people sort of self-discover of what, you know what they need to do. They just need to go do it. And so
often that's the case.
Things out. Yep.
Yeah.
I think a role of a coach is also to be there to support and encourage those. And I think it's to hold them accountable at a high level.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, I'm almost, well, let me ask you this question before I ask you the very last question. Who do you think benefits from your coaching the most?
Well, I think that our agents benefit from coaching tremendously.
And how do they benefit, do you think, the most from your coaching?
Well, I think that they just look at their production, right? Because they're given the right tools and they're being held accountable. And then they have a support behind them. They're also given they're given time off too. So they're given that balance in their life as well. And so this is a very hard business and it requires a lot of work. And so it's important for them to take time off. It's important for them to be with their families and regenerate. And so we're here for that.
Last question I have for you, Wendy. What would you tell anyone that's watching this video that's either considering a career in real estate or considering joining a team? What would you say?
I think that if you were going to jump into real estate, I think that I would, I just wouldn't even imagine doing it without a team. I just can't even imagine. I just look back on when I started and I was by myself and I felt all alone and I had no idea what I was doing. And it took me a while. And I look around at the team members that we have now. I love them all, and they are just producing at a really high level really quickly. I think that's just amazing.
Wendy, you're awesome. I love having you on the team and doing business with you, doing life with you. Appreciate all that you do. And thanks for your time today.